a sook and is moping because he didn't get to steal away the foot.
Fetish did a good job of him. You know, it might have looked like a weakling slap fight, but internal injuries, I'm sure. He's got a pneumothorax. Okay, so when last we left, you were on the shore of this mysterious lake that you'd found, which contained a large number of screaming statues. Large statues that were making sort of screaming noises. You'd also encountered a tattoo artist named Larix, who was on his way from his small village to the south to Charmon, although you warned him that Charmon might not be the best place to go at the moment, given it has a certain induced instability. Not naming any names. Anyway, you've seen him on his way, as he continues plodding along on his giant pack animal that he was riding, with all of his various tattoo equipment. So you're left standing on the shores of the lake of the screaming statues. You're a little bit up the hill, so you're not really close. So would you like to continue to investigate the statues, or would you like to go back to the path and continue on to the Field of Towers?
I'm curious about these statues.
Though we did test that water and it was unsafe, wasn't it?
It was caustic.
Yeah. So I'm sort of thinking, like, how much more could we actually investigate if we chose to?
Well, I mean, the tattoo guy basically said that these statues have been here as long as he's been alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been, well, as far as he knows, they are as far as he knows, they're part of the landscape. There's no, nothing that his people tell about them. There's nothing that, anyone knows about them other than they've always been there and they've always been screaming.
How are there no stories about these statues? That doesn't seem right.
It's probably just normal.
They've told, they tell stories about there's this lake and there's statues, but there's no origin for them. There's no, origin of how they came here that's, based in anything. They've just always been there as long as, as long as living memory. At least amongst the living memory of the normal denizens of the area, the regular inhabitants.
That's really weird. Okay.
Actually, just a question. I know we can't really know for certain because we took the underground sort of train network, but are we probably still on the Steadfast?
You're sort of on the ridge between the Steadfast and the Beyond. So it's you're in the mountains, and the nearest mountains to you are part of the Black Riage, which is the mountain ridge that goes between, sort of the main sort of Steadfast and the Beyond. The wandering walk that you were on, the pilgrimage path, cuts through pass cut into the Black Riage, but you're now north of that. You're about as far as you can tell, you're north of that because the temperature's a bit drier and it's a bit less green than it was down where you were. Which generally
we don't even. Yeah, I just had a thought. Like, we don't even really know if we're in like the northern or southern hemisphere. So it's just like, which way's the North Pole?
Generally, as you head north here, it becomes drier. Whether that it doesn't so much constitute to poles, the ninth world, because of the changing of the Earth's orbit over those years. So the icy region doesn't align perfectly with the sort of geographic poles. but it is it is colder to the south and warmer to the north. It's generally what you know. And that's sort of common knowledge that everyone knows. As you head south, it gets a bit colder. So would you like to investigate anything else about the statues?
I've got an idea, guys. The
No.
statues are screaming, right? What about if we all scream back?
I'm okay with this.
Okay, if you want to do a big scream, if you want to do a big scream to try and match the volume of the statues and the strength of it, I'll take a mic check.
Is this from all or just Blugs?
Well, if Barks wants to start.
Another beautiful mic check.
Just rolls a 1.
Perfect.
Okay. I get to do a free intrusion for that.
Oh, son of a diddly.
How can you intrude on a scream?
He rolled a
Alex,
1 and he
listen to the
screamed. It's
course-
basically
uh,
a squeak.
Pneumothorax.
So Blargs winds up for a big scream. And as you see him puff up and let out this almighty bellow, it goes on for a couple of seconds before he sort of starts choking and losing his voice. So you've in fact yelled yourself hoarse very quickly. But now to make any sort of any checks involving vocalizations, until you're sort of healed back up, it's going to be one step more difficult
Nice.
until you've
Perfect.
recovered.
Wow.
It's okay to still flex.
I need to bring some glory back to the group. Maybe not.
Oh, no.
Would anyone else like to scream at the statues?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Oh!
There we go.
20. Nice.
Okay, Fetus lets out an almighty yell. You feel the tremolo of his yell echo sort of across the lake, and you start to see a little ripple disturbing on the surface of the lake. Now you'd notice the statues had sort of, it looked like some sort of shackles or pipes leading off of them, and the yell actually makes them dislodge slightly from one of the statues. So a pipe dislodges from the edge of one of the statues, out of one of its arms, and crashes to the surface of the lake with an almighty splash, and you see where the splash hits, a sort of cloud of vapor arises from under the surface. So once the surface tension of the lake is broken, you see this sort of vapor steaming out of it from what had previously been a still surface. From where the pipe came out of the arm of the statue, you can see some sort of fluid trickling from the arm of the statue, but it doesn't move. The pipe, of which you can sort of see half, sort of flails around on the surface and then disappears below it.
Intriguing. Now what?
So are you saying that the fluid, like where the hole where the pipe was, the fluid's not leaking out and dripping into the lake?
It's leaking out from the arm of the statue.
But the statue itself isn't moving.
The statue isn't moving. As far as you can tell, it's still screaming. It's still in that same position. But whatever the pipe was piping out, it's now leaking out of the arm of the statue.
Has its
And the
tone
pipe-
changed at all, or is it still screaming the same scream?
You can't really tell just because there's so many statues, making
Okay.
that noise from where you are.
So we've got no idea whether or not they changed anything.
Well, I mean, how many? Yeah, on that one statue, how many more pipes are there?
That you can see sort of another 3 or so. One's coming out of the other arm. There's one going into its back and one going into its upper thigh.
Any chance we can dislodge it with an arrow, maybe?
It'd be a difficult shot to try and hit the statue from where you are, just because it's a fair distance away.
If I wasn't low on bolts, I'd actually take a shot, but no. I've only got 7 left, so I'm not gonna waste it.
It's like, suppose maybe 200 meters or so.
Probably not quite that much. It's probably about 100 meters from the surface, but the surface is that still sort of black slime, and now that, other than where the drip is dripping into the surface, it's not moving. It's dead calm. Even with it,
So
with the sort of slight breeze that there is just from being up in the mountains, it's not like kicking up waves on the surface. The surface is still quite still.
So it's a very viscous lake.
As far as you can tell, yeah.
Okay.
You haven't been close enough to sort of, well, stick anything into it, because it gets a bit squishy and burny as you get closer to the surface.
Given the viscosity of, or the perceived viscosity of the lake itself, who's our fastest runner?
What?
Considering what happened to that rock that you threw in, I'm not too keen.
You're the one that's curious. How about you do it?
This could be the end.
Actually, that's a question. Are there any, like, trees or anything that we could maybe strip the bark off?
There are a couple of sort of trees, well, less trees, more sort of scrubby bushes up the hill a bit more, the hill that leads down to the lake. As they get closer, there's some that are sort of stunted and deformed, but once you get close to the lake, it's pretty much clear mud. Like, there's no, you can't see any plants that are sort of growing in the muck.
So we could make some sort of snow boots or something?
I was more thinking along the lines of, well, the inorganic rock, just got sucked into the depths. I'm just curious if the surface of this lake or whatever it contains would be dangerous to something organic. Like, so I thought I'd try a plant or a flower or something like that.
Well, would you like to sort of explore the shoreline a little bit more?
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I
you sort
like
of-
the line of thinking here, so let's do it.
Okay, so you start moving around the edge of the lake, and it's not like a round lake. It sort of runs around a sort of coastline, some of which you could see a fair distance from where you're standing, but there's a couple of sort of little inlets as you walk around. And as you walk around the one of the corners, you sort of get round to the north side of the lake, and in a little inlet there's an old shack made of stone and wood.
Oh.
It's where there's a sort of small little creek running past it that looks reasonably clear, but it's feeding into the lake. And from as far as you can tell, once the water hits the lake, it has become contaminated, and it's the same as the rest of the slime.
Okay.
I'm now highly skeptical. Sorry, you go.
Is this shack, does it appear inhabited?
No, it's long abandoned as far as you can tell. The roof is ready to collapse. There's only a few sort of remaining bits of evidence to suggest that anyone lived there at any point, but it looks like it's been abandoned for a long time.
Is there a small sort of bridge or something across the creek, or would we have to wade through it?
You can make your way across the creek. It's not flowing very much, and you can sort of pick your way across it if you step carefully.
I'm just highly concerned about any sort of liquid in these parts.
Shall we test it just like we tested the lake? Get another rock, see what happens to it.
That's
Okay, so you take a rock and you throw it into the you throw it into the small creek, and the rock sinks into the sort of clear water and sits there.
Let's go.
God damn it! It's just normal.
Wait until the first guy walks through, and then he probably starts dissolving. I mean, please go first, Fedus. I mean, show us how it's done.
Sure thing. Let's do it. Cross.
Okay, over the volunteering noises of Blargs as he tries to volunteer but can't vocalise it, Fetus moves across the creek. He sort of wades in on tiptoes, and you're half expecting him to start dissolving or anything, but he trudges through and walks up around the shack. As he walks, he sort of circles around the shack as he gets there just to look at it. And around the back of it, he discovers a small rowboat.
Excellent.
Well, that's
What'd you
interesting.
find?
Is it in good condition? Or is it as run down as the shack itself?
It's intact. It's old, but it's got a pair of oars, and it looks like it's made out of some sort of synthetic material. The bottom of the rowboat is sort of stained black, like it's been immersed in the slime at some point. But
Okay.
as far as you can tell, it looks like a perfectly useful rowboat.
Would anyone like to come with me?
Come with you on what? What did you find?
Yeah, I'll
I
hop
found a
over. It
rowboat.
sounds like you found something.
Rowboats, huh? Huh. This almost seems too convenient.
So,
Worried.
in terms of the shack itself, does it have like doors or anything, or is it just like has the roof collapsed in on itself?
It's still got an old and rotted door that a couple of the planks have come off, so you can sort of see inside. There looks like there was once a glass window, or something like glass window that's been sort of blown out and shattered in. So you can sort of see into the shack if you approach it.
I'm going to open the rotted door and step inside to the dilapidated shack.
Okay, you open the door to the shack after a bit of wrestling with the hinges, which are corroded. And you step inside. As you'd suspected from the outside, the shack is long since abandoned. And you feel that there's an old table in there. Looks like the remains of what might have once been a mattress or two. But there's no sort of personal effects. One strange thing that you notice is there's no, as you'd expect from a shack like this, there's no like fishing gear or other sort of lake gear. There's not even anything spare that you think might be involved with the boat. There's just some old rubbish and a couple of glass jars with lids that are empty.
Well, the
Would I-
jars could be handy.
Yeah, the jars might be handy, but would I be able to get like an approximate date for how long the shack might have been abandoned?
Judging by the general decay on the inside and the the way the outside of it looks, you estimate it's probably been a good 2 or 3 decades since this shack was used for anything.
I wonder why whoever was here left in the first place. Maybe that was when something happened to the lake. I guess I'll step outside of the shack and let everyone know, call out to Scrapper and Blargs, who still have yet to cross the creek, that the shack's completely bare. All I found was some glass jars, which I've now got picked up and storing in my rucksack.
Oh, I'll cross over and join up with them and just basically say to them, well, if the lake water is dangerous, what if you actually use the jars, collect it, and maybe we could use it as some sort of grenade, maybe, or I don't know, actually harm people with it. Throw it at them like a Molotov
Not bad.
cocktail in a way.
Okay, you're able to approach the shore of the lake from where you are now by sort of following the creek bed down, because it's on the surface of the creek it's quite rocky, unlike the sort of muddy, squelchy area around it. And you can actually get up quite close to the black, slimy surface of the lake.
Well, you found the jars, Rusev. I'll leave that up to you whether or not you actually think that's a good idea or not.
I give the jars to you. If you want to go and do it, you can. Although the last time we trusted you with a grenade, I believe I got hit with it.
No.
Okay.
I just shake my hand and just go, whatever.
Carefully maneuvering your way down to the surface with the jars, you think that with a little bit of careful balancing, so it'll be a speed roll, careful balancing and careful maneuvering, you can fill up a jar without either falling in the lake or dropping it. So I'll get a speed roll, difficulty 3.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just do one jar then, and alright, hopefully this works. Speed roll. Nice.
Okay, you managed to get the jar down to the surface and fill it up, and you sort of carefully maneuver it with your fingers and maybe use the edge of a knife or something to maneuver it.
Yeah, I was planning to use my knife to make sure I didn't put my hand too close to the actual liquid itself, so...
And you sort of screw the top back on and seal it, and sort of have a look at the fluid. As you suspected, it's quite viscous. It's not a it's not a slime like the slime creatures that you saw. So it's not going to. It's not like it's not like a jelly. It's closer to a
oil.
Not. It's oily, but it's not. It's like a. It's not. It's still a liquid. It's still a slow-moving liquid. As you do that, it sort of moves slowly and within the thing. As you regard it and hold it up to the light, you can see that the black coloration is due to sort of suspended particles. It's not like a single liquid. It's obviously some particle of stuff suspended in water.
Well, I end up walking up to Rusev and just go, well, since you don't trust me with it, here, take it.
Okay, and you can use that jar. If you can use it as a throwing weapon if you'd like at some point. What effect it will have, I can't tell you at this point.
Out of curiosity, I go to Fetis and ask him if he can use his I suppose his many implants to determine the contents of this jar. I'm thinking, would you be able to use a scan on that?
He would, and it will probably be an intellect roll as well.
Int roll? I can do that. I'm actually thinking, you mentioned particles. Could this be in some way related to the insidious choir?
I'll let you do an intellect roll to see if you can determine what it is.
12.
Okay, so as far as you can tell, what's in the jar and what you can sort of think is dripping out of the arms of the creatures is it's caustic, as you've already determined, and you think it's also some sort of mutagen. Like, you think that it's what's coming out, or what it is some sort of biological-based agent. Closer, not like a virus, not like the insidious choir and its tracer particles, but more like you think that it might almost be a fungus.
I like fungus.
Something that's more plant-based, or that sort of fungus spores. But you can't tell what would happen. And given what you've seen, and I'll warn you this in advance, given what you've seen of the lake so far, you probably don't want to try and drink it.
It's really tempting to try and grab that and drink it. Really tempting.
Hey, it might fix your voice.
It might overfix it and then burn through the rest of your body.
In that case, does this mean that the liquid is perhaps more closely related to the Devona than it is to the Insidious Choir?
You can't really tell.
Damn it!
Like, there's nothing about it. There's nothing about it that suggests that it's related to anything that you've seen so far.
It could be a completely new third party.
Yay! Let's eat it.
Okay, guys, we could try just pouring it on Fetus's new friend. Well, not that new now. On his little growth, and see what happens. You can't see what I'm nodding at.
He's gonna like that very much.
Could we apply it with, like, just a dip? Just a little bit?
I can use the tip of my knife if you like.
To the growth on your back?
Yeah.
That
Actually,
thing has...
at the join between myself and the growth.
That thing is connected to your spinal cord. Do you want to risk paralysis?
Yes.
Remember, he's not thinking straight with that thing in him. So we got to be careful what this guy says, Rusev. We really got to be careful what he says.
Like, you're the one who knows what you're the one who had a look at it and think you know what it does. So, if you want to try something, go ahead.
I'm okay with genetic modification.
I'm not actually. I don't want to use it on the thing on your back. It's too risky. What about to your hand? How's that?
Sure.
So usually a GM has to work really hard to make his PCs kill themselves.
No. See, Fetus, you could always apply it to the where you got attacked by the iron wind on your hand.
Oh, of course.
That was kind of what I was hinting at, wasn't I? That's what I said in the hand, because didn't that get hurt at one stage?
I just like accruing battle scars.
I thought it was like a hardened second skin or something.
It's like it's sort of crystallized into a, yeah, that's the closest thing you can tell.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Ooh.
I think we should.
Okay. Let's try a dab on the obsidian bit, a dab on my skin, and a dab on the thing on my back.
No thanks, not the thing on your back. That's too risky. Your skin,
you don't want to touch the thing on my back?
And that's fine.
Which one are you testing first?
Which one are we testing first? I think I would be more comfortable going with the obsidian.
Alright. So I carefully open the jar, take my knife out, just dabble it, the tip in, like tap in. So and just sort of press it down on the hand, like on the side. So I'm not actually trying to stab him. I'm just basically just doing a light press.
You're using it as a spreading knife, basically.
Yes, basically yes. I don't want to hurt him, obviously.
Does it affect the knife in any way?
The knife, you seem to have been able to dip in and out. It's a metal blade, correct?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The one I used was like a metal shard on a hilt. Yeah. So basically, yeah, it is metal.
Yep. So you dip the metal blade into it, and as you pull it out, it sort of comes off it like a syrup almost. And you spread a bit on the growth on Fetus's hand. And for a second, it doesn't appear to do anything. But then you see bubbling start coming up from the surface of the growth on your hand. And Left, I'll make you do a might roll.
Here we go. Do I lose the hand? Do I lose my life? Oh, that's not good.
That might be okay. Please let that be okay.
You're going to take 1 point of might damage.
Okay. I can
Better
handle
than
that.
expected, at least. If it's hurting you, then just get it off you. Just wipe it on the ground or something.
And it sort of cracked the obsidian surfaces on your hand, but it still seems to be spreading, like across
Still
your
spreading.
hand. But the bubbling is coming down as it spreads across. So it sort of hurt,
Okay.
like, it did that on impact. It gave you the damage immediately, but it's not lingering.
Okay. And you said it was spreading.
Like
How-
it spread across the surface like a
Oh, okay, I get you.
like
Yeah,
flowed.
so
It didn't.
Yeah,
it didn't
flowed.
sort of. It didn't dab. It spread like a drop.
Sure. Okay, well that's not so bad.
And look at that, basically said, well, it is quite a successful experiment that this thing actually causes damage. So I'm going to be using this later. And I just screw the cat back on and then just pass back to Rooster and say, yep, I'd say it's dangerous.
Why are you giving it to me? You take it.
Well, you sure you
I'll
want me
take it.
risking throwing it onto you
Alright.
again?
Fetus takes it. He's the one who subjected his body to the scientific experiment method.
Okay. Yes, the guinea pig takes it then.
I would like to draw my attention and the others back to this rowboat. How big is this rowboat? Could it comfortably fit the four of us?
It'll fit the four of you. Yep. Wouldn't fit
Would the, fo-
too many others. It'll fit four of you.
would the four of us like to go for a journey in a rickety old rowboat?
Yes.
It's like no, like figuring out like what risk there might be, considering that rowboat does look all rickety and all that. I'm worried
Okay.
that since it went through the obsidian in your hand, what's it going to do to a wooden rowboat?
Well, it wasn't wooden though.
It's not
It
wooden.
No,
wasn't
it was some sort of synthetic material.
Ah,
Can
right.
we
Almost like,
take one of
I didn't get a close look at the
oars?
rowboat, so I didn't know. Yeah.
It almost
Oh,
feels
pardon
like
me.
some sort of ceramic or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I grab one of the oars and just press it into the lake and pull it out and see if there's any immediate change?
Yes. You take one of the oars, walk down along the rocks to the surface, and dip the oar into the lake. As you pull it out, you notice the black fluid sort of dripping off of it.
Mhm.
But there's no damage, or there's no corrosion, there's no nothing.
Sorted. Let's do it.
Alright.
Works for me.
Just
do
don't rock
this.
the boat.
Yeah, boy.
Okay. So you take the rowboat down to the surface, and you all sort of pile in very carefully near the sort of area where the water from the stream is coming through. So it's a little bit less, a bit less slimy there. And you all get in and give the oars a couple of pull, and it looks like you'll be able to, it's hard work, but you'll be able to row around the surface of the lake, if you'd like.
I vote we try to remove the 3 remaining pipes from this screaming statue.
The closest screaming statue.
Correct.
Is it? How close can we get to the screaming statue? Can we like pull up straight alongside it?
From where you are now, you can not see anything that would obstruct your path to doing that.
Because I'm actually,
vandalism.
yeah, I'm thinking of rather than trying to do it at range, I reckon I could probably get up there and climb on top of the thing and try and sort of detach them manually.
Bit
Sounds
risky,
good.
but if you think you can do it,
I reckon so.
because if you fall, it might not be easy to catch you, given that we might rock the boat and we all might fall into the water.
Oh, come on. Where's your sense of adventure?
Well, I prefer, self-preservation over my sense of adventure, but
Well,
Come on, we'll just sing Cindy Lauper, it'll be fine.
alright.
your sense of self-preservation probably wouldn't have led you here now, would it?
Good point, let's go.
So you row across the surface of the lake, and as you start to approach the statues, you of course notice the screaming increasing in volume. Still, because of how the statues are arranged, or whether it's an acoustic property of the lake, you can't tell where the screaming noise is coming from. Like if it's, something that they're vocalizing, if it's emanating from them some other way, or if it's just a sound of the area. You can't, even though it's increasing in volume, as you approach the statues, you can't tell if it's a noise that they're making.
Mm-hmm.
How close are you now to the statues? Are you going to pull up sort of beside one?
Well, if Rusev's going to climb one, I say we go right up next to one.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
like to
that's
try
the-
and board a statue.
Okay, as you pull up next to the statue, I'd like you all to make a might roll.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
What are we doing?
Oh god,
Oh,
got a 1.
Oh,
Shit.
it's all on you.
Thanks.
That ain't good.
Okay.
Scrappy, you better not cost me an eye.
Also, by the way, Blugs is 1E roll. Doesn't he get the 2 experience points?
Not if it's a free intrusion.
Oh.
Yeah, if it's a 1, I
only
get to
when,
do it.
yeah. It's
Only-
only
it's
when.
only-
Yeah, sorry, I'll shut up.
Yeah, it's only when I use one to change something. If it's a 1, it's free.
Ah, okay, right.
Which means this one is too.
Shit. Alright. Go.
So you rolled a 1 on your might check.
Mm-hmm.
This is very foreboding.
Yeah, the suspense is now killing me. Literally killing me, probably.
From where you are, you can't. You can see the pipes coming out of the bottom from beneath the surface of the lake. It's dark. You can't see more than 2 centimeters into it. It's like black, not pitch black, but sort of a murky grayish black, and you can't see anything beneath the surface. No fish. There's no insects around the surface of the lake, as you'd already spotted. No birds. Nothing. As you reach the pipes on the statue, you can see that up to about a meter or 2 above the current level, it's coated in the same black, in what looks like the same black substance as the slime on the bottom of the lake. It's just a thin layer of it. So even though you initially took the statues to be like a greyish brown, it's likely they're a lighter colour. They've just got a coating of black stuff on top of it. You also notice that the statues are entirely covered in a film of the same material.
Wonderful.
Hmm.
What about the pipes themselves?
The pipes are also covered by material, but from what they look like there's some sort of more flexible material. Like the surface of the statue, from what you can see where you are, is quite solid.
Hmm.
But it's but the pipes look like a more flexible material, and if you sort of prod one with an oar, the pipes have a little bit of give underneath them.
How do we best go about this then
Yeah,
if they're covered in the black liquid?
Well, I mean, I'm fairly well clothed. I don't really have that much exposed skin anywhere except for really my face and my neck. I
Do you
mean,
want to
if I,
rescue clothes?
well, I mean, if the lake's not affecting this boat, and like it wasn't affecting the metal blade, I don't really see how it would affect basically leathers and hides and things like that I'm wearing. Actually,
So you don't want to use knives as climbing tools, maybe?
I'd prefer not to stab whatever this thing is. I just had a thought. I do still have our blue toga from Charmond.
Interesting.
What would
Excellent.
happen if I was to rub this blue toga on the statue itself and pick up some of the encaked slime?
Okay, so you take a corner of the cloak and rub it on the edge of the statue. As you rub it on there, you notice that the layer is actually thicker than you thought. You thought it was just a film, but it's actually caked on a bit. And as you wipe it down with the edge of the toga, it starts to melt away the material until the square which you use to wipe sort of discorporates and falls into the lake. It becomes brittle and collapses as a material.
If the pipes themselves have give, could we wrap them around an oar and use that to pull the pipes off?
You can try and you can try and even whack one of the pipes with an oar, or you can't really sort of wrap it around. It's not that flexible.
Not that
But you
flexible. Okay.
You can swing at it with an oar if you'd like. It's not like a flexible tube. It's more like a hose. You've just noticed it has a little bit of give under the oar. It's not like you're hooking it up and thing like that. It's
Okay.
just pushes a little bit when you can push it with the oar.
How thick is the pipe?
As you can see, it's sort of around about a fist size in width. The statue is quite large, and the pipes are quite thin into it. You're sort of only probably up to its, it's towering right above you. But the pipes are around a sort of fist's diameter.
These
just-
entrances into the body of the statue, where the pipes meet, I know these statues are humanoid. How well defined are they? What I'm asking is, are they clearly intravenous?
When you saw these statues the other day, whilst they were humanoid, they were misshapen. If you remember, they looked like someone who built a statue of a human without
That's
knowing
right.
entirely what a human physiology or anatomy looked like.
Mhm.
So you can't see anything vein-like beneath the surface. It's sort of the pipes are going in, and where the pipe meets the statue, wherever it is covered by the muck. So you
Okay.
can't see what that interface looks like. From where you are, you can see where the pipe fell out from the statue earlier. You can sort of look around and see it. You're not under the drip.
Mhm.
But you can just see a sort of black surface. You can't see any, and it's still sort of dripping slowly and starting to sort of dry a bit around the edge. It's not, you can't see any structure beneath where it's dripping out.
Okay. I guess I don't know, does anyone else have any ideas aside from hit the pipe with an oar?
Hit the pipe with an oar.
Actually,
Hit the oar.
I just had a thought. Can we only reach that pipe with an oar, or perhaps could we hit it with, say, an axe?
Oh!
Yes, we do have that on our side.
You have Plugs, you've got your axe, don't you?
I haven't dropped it, so far as I recall.
So you can take a swing at it with an axe if you'd like.
Oh god. Can we shroud Blargs with the blue cloak first, or hold it up atop the boat as sort of a splatter shield?
Sure.
Because there was pressure in the hose that I dislodged because it was snaking through the water, wasn't it?
Yes. Before disappearing beneath the surface.
I really don't want splashback from this, but I do want it severed.
But this is a different type of liquid than the lake water, isn't it? Or is it the same?
Sorry, I missed that.
The stuff that's dripping out of where the pipe was, that's different to the lake water, isn't it?
It's a similar colour to what's dripping into the lake. So it's black. It's not like it doesn't look like a separate fluid. It looks like whatever's in the lake and whatever's dripping out of the statue is certainly connected.
I mean, we could we could row a little bit away and try shouting at it again, or we can stay here, put up a little bit of a tarp, and Blarks can cut off the pipe.
Yeah, I still got my blue poncho. I'll
Smashing.
contribute.
Well, Rusev's ponchos are still fairly intact. It's just the corner where he touched it that it's disintegrated. So, Blargs, I'll have a might roll.
Here we go. This could go well or horribly wrong.
I'm going to put a point of effort into this because
Can we
knowing my
also
rolls,
contribute effort into this?
this means I will get a roll of 4. So let's see. Oh,
Yeah.
roll. Slightly
Yay.
disappointing.
13.
Okay, so you swing with the axe into the hose that's attached to the statue in front of you's thigh. It's coming out of its thigh, and you. It's a clean hit. You hit it directly blade on, and the axe seems to chip away some of the slime, the dried crust of black stuff from the outside of the hose, but it doesn't pierce it or slice it in any way. It doesn't seem to have made an impact on the actual substance beneath, but it has taken some of the grime off.
Huh.
So, was this grime crusted as in it had dried onto the pipe itself?
As far as you can tell.
Okay.
There must be something about us sort of reverberating with our yelling before to dislodge that previous pipe. So, and it seems that brute force won't be enough to remove the pipe. So we might have to go back to just straight up shouting.
Shout from a boat in the middle of a lake. Yeah. However, brute force does appear to remove the caked grime. If we can repeatedly strike at it and simply remove the grime, we can then presumably touch it ourselves, right?
What's your end goal here?
Remove the pipes. See
Okay.
what happens.
It sounded
something
more like
unsettling
his
about
goal was to
this.
break our weapons.
Well, if you have to roll that many times, depends on how many swipes you're gonna make at it.
Well, we could use one of the oars and keep the other as mobility.
Wait,
I don't.
Or
Yeah, you need both to actually row.
yeah, don't use the oar. No, that's a stupid idea.
Okay,
You only need one if you're going to use it like a kayak.
that's what I'm saying.
Um,
But
You
I
do realize
don't
how
wanna,
many? There's 4 of us on this rowboat. One oar is
Yeah.
not going to be able to push us forward that much.
I definitely don't want to upset the party. I've already gotten us on a boat in a caustic lake. I think I've done enough damage.
Remember, these statues have been here a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all
it
for
seems we're
trying
the first people to be out on a boat, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
we're,
I'm all for yelling at it again, but if we choose to do that, we could just back off and do it instead of being like like right next to it, so we can just do it safely without risking splashback.
how confident do you feel in having one more hit at the pipe plugs in the section that is no longer caked with grime?
I'm filled with confidence. I know no such thing as failure, just
Just won't take it
varying
forward.
levels of victory.
Like when you fell and break your nose. Okay.
Victory. Me and the ground had an argument, and
you
mistakes were made, but
You
I
should
came
have
out
said
on
that.
top.
Okay, Blacks, I'll take another might roll.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay, so you strike the same point that you'd struck before, and the reverberation of your strike echoes throughout the pipe structure, but you're still unable to put a mark into the pipe. So some of the grime sort of shakes loose from around the around the pipe, and it does flex a little bit under the blow, but it appears whatever it's made of is pretty tough. Your axe is not making a mark on it.
Hmm.
okay.
Perhaps rowing away, rowing a short distance away and then yelling at it again might be the best idea.
I'm
Because
all for trying that too.
Okay.
So rowing, you take the rowboat a little distance away from the statue. The other one, by the way, this one's quite close to you. The other one's probably sort of 50 meters. They're in a rough sort of circle, it almost looks like, but not like a perfect circle. It's a ragged circle. And if you'd like to yell, except for bugs who can't yell at the moment, that'll be another might roll.
I'm going to join in this time.
13.
13. 6.
No, I don't want to roll a D200.
14. Professors.
Okay, you yell with all your might, and over the cacophony of yells, you can hear your shouts reverb around the lake, but it's just picked up in the rest of the sort of symphony that you're in the middle of, and nothing happens.
Not sure what else we can do here, lads.
I don't have anything left.
Out of curiosity, when we were closer to the statue, was it like solid stone or metal or something like that, or did it look fleshy?
The surface of the statue of the
From what we could see underneath the grime.
You couldn't really tell. All you know is that it was, it was sort of brownish underneath the grime. You couldn't tell what it was. There was no, there was nothing about it that made you think it was one substance or another. It just was solid, whatever it was.
Um, can can we row back to the pipe just once more, and can I try slicing the pipe open away from me?
So you'd like to try sawing at it a bit?
Yeah, instead of a sharp swing directly at it, I'd like to saw at the pipe itself.
You can have a go. DC is asking if anyone in the party has a rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle. He thinks that could help.
I'm sorry, DC, this isn't an adventure game.
Perfect.
You can try and saw at the pipe.
My thinking behind this is, if this liquid is in any way, shape, or form similar to a non-Newtonian fluid, the moment we apply pressure, it solidifies. Thus, we're doing nothing to it.
So you've moved up next to the pipe, and you take out your blade and begin to sort of saw at the edge of it. Underneath your grip, you don't need to make a check for this. Underneath the saw, you can feel the knife blade scrape against it, and as the vibrations sort of move up your arm, even though it's a little bit of flex, you can feel that whatever's underneath, even though it's flexible, is quite hard. And after a little bit of sawing, you look at the surface, and you don't appear to be making any sort of mark or anything like that. As you saw at the grime, you notice it sort of flake off, and you shake it off the flakes. It doesn't appear to be, where the flakes have sort of hit some of the soft material around your sleeve. It started to sort of char and make it a little bit ragged, but it's not. And where it sort of touched your skin, you can feel it sort of sting a bit, but it's not. It's not eating straight through your hand instantly, the sort of dried stuff. But you can't seem to do anything to the hose.
Can I give it a good tug, and then I'm completely out of ideas?
You give the hose a good yank, and though it appears to have a little bit of that flex and that movement again, it doesn't appear to. You can't seem to dislodge it from the top or bundle it up or anything like that.
Okay. Well, I'm completely out of ideas. No rubber chickens with pulleys in the middle.
I have one
Anyone
last
else?
idea.
What's that?
How close are we to the statue currently?
You're up next to one of the hoses coming out of it.
Yeah, screw it. Life's short. I shoot at it with aiming at the head. Or what I perceive to be the head.
Okay, speed roll to aim. It's a pretty easy shot because you're still.
That'll do it.
19. Hell of a shot.
Okay, you got a crossbow, correct?
That is correct.
The crossbow bolt sails into the air and strikes the head of the statue. You think maybe you heard a slight variation in the noise around you, but you can't be sure over the sort of sloshing as you sort of move around the boat. But it doesn't impact, it sort of hits it and then falls down.
Now, when Fetus was trying to saw through the pipe, was he making any sort of dent, or was it just seemingly ineffectual?
It seemed to be impervious to what he was doing.
Alright then.
I don't think we've got anything that can actually get through it.
Yeah, I was thinking perhaps I could use a sort of a hammer and nail and try and wrap a rope around it, and then we just try and row as fast as we can to tug the pipe out.
Yeah, pulling might do something. 'Cause right now we've just been trying to push in. What if we tried pulling?
Fetus did give it a yank and didn't
Yeah.
feel it shift at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I've got nothing.
I just don't really know how yelling at it in the first place did something.
It was a pretty good yell.
Must have been a shockwave when he yelled.
Lucky yell, maybe.
Oh,
There's something about these statues.
I don't suppose the chemical explosive that I picked up is being affected by the screaming at all, is it?
The slime that you've got in the jar.
The
The
explosive that we got from Raw K's hideout.
the sound activated one.
Yeah,
No.
the note activated one.
No, you can't. It's not blowing up in your bag or anything like that. You pull it out.
Okay, good.
It's sort of a small pipe with a couple of wires around it, and what appears to be some sort of audio receiver, from where you tell. And it seems sort of inert as it was. There's a small light on it that blinks regularly, but it's been doing that since you got it.
On the pipe itself, does it look like there's anything attached on, like anything that's attaching it?
You can't tell where the sort of interface is between the pipe and the statue.
Okay, so there's no visible screws or anything like that, is there?
No.
Dang. All right. So my
okay,
tools are useless as well.
Would you like to move on?
Methinks there's something that might help with this, but we don't have it.
Yeah, I'm looking through my gear. I don't think I can find anything that could be of use at this point. I think we just move on. If anyone else has got any other ideas or anything, any ciphers that they think would be useful or anything like that.
No.
All right.
Wait, did we end up picking up the disintegrator wand from Glass Hands back in Charmond?
That was a shock wand, wasn't it?
You tap it first, it shocks them. You tap it twice, they basically shatter into a million pieces.
Whatever the surface was, you can use the shock, and then you can bring it through for another one. And it'll the impact will shatter the thing, but you can try it.
I mean, we still have no idea exactly what these things are, or if they're even alive.
But no one else knows what they are either.
Well, if nothing else, try it.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay, you take the shock wand out of one of your packs. Who's got it?
I'm just trying to see who had it. Yeah.
I don't think you ever gave it to anyone. I think you just kind of had it as a party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start collecting those ones, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
Yeah, I don't think anyone sort of, it was theirs. I think you just had it as a group.
Yeah.
Who would like to try and strike something with the wand?
I'll do it.
Don't touch my eye.
Okay, so you pull out the shock wand and you bang the edge of it on the side of the boat to activate it. And then you pull it back and take a swing at the pipe. You see for about a foot either side of the impact point, you can see a sort of fracture line run up the muck on the outside of it. but it sort of has like, you know, it almost looks like it's frozen, but it's not cold. It's just sort of solidified. You pull back the wand and strike it again, and the muck that had solidified shatters and cracks and falls into the water around the boat. But as you look up, you know, above it and below it, the muck is still there. It's not flowing or anything, and the pipe still remains intact.
Shit.
Dang. Wow.
Well then,
I am officially out of ideas.
let's
Hang on. So that muck around that part is gone. Is it being recovered by any of the slime?
If the slime on the surface doesn't appear to be doing anything, it's sort of, you know, there's a couple of flakes of it around the edges where it had, you know, the shatter wasn't quite clean. And if you touch the end of the wand to, or like the, you know, the metal tip to it, they sort of flake off, but it doesn't, you know, it's not like reforming. It's not flowing. Whatever's on the pipe looks like it's dried.
perhaps we make a mental
You've
note
been
of
out
this
on the
place
lake
to
for a
come
while now. I'd like you all to make another might check.
Great.
back.
Please not a fucking 1.
Oh,
12, 10, and I got 19. Okay, that's a bit better than my last one. I'm gonna put those points into the where I got the 1.
Okay, Blokes, you're starting to feel a little bit ill.
Yay!
I'm just thinking that part of the pipe, doesn't that mean it's exposed now and not covered with whatever's
We
covering the
tried
rest
that.
of it?
We tried to cut through that earlier, though.
Yeah, but that was
What
it
are
was
you
still
thinking?
covered with that stuff, wasn't it?
No, Blarg struck it twice with his axe, and I tried to saw through it.
I think the whatever the material the pipe's made from is just stronger than what we have, which is, I presume, a steel metal type thing.
Yeah, fairly
Perhaps
sort of
we
mundane weapons.
make a mental note of this place to return at a later date.
Well,
When I get a
I mean-
massive cannon, yeah, we'll go against it again, and then we'll actually just actually murder those pipes for their impudence. Yeah, all right.
Okay, so you row back to the shack at the edge of the lake and drag the boat out and leave it back where you found it. Where would you like to go from here? Back to the trail?
well, was it we're on the Wandering Walk and we're heading towards the Field of Towers? Yes.
You weren't on the Wandering Walk. The Wandering Walk is where you were in your first adventures. You were just on the trail to the Field of Towers that Devona had told you about. But it was a pretty clearly defined trail to the field.
And there is some sort of road or something close by that the trader was on, the tattoo artist.
Yep. Yep. So he'd sort of come. The trail comes sort of close to the lake. You sort of walk down over a rise towards it, so you couldn't sort of see it from the road. But the trader was just off the road a little bit, so you'd found him. So you move back to the road, and you continue along it until you enter a sort of long ravine. The journey to you sort of spent maybe an hour at the lake, all up. Well, actually no, it was probably closer to 2 or 3 hours by the time you rode out and everything. And you take the this trail as it follows along until finally it opens up from this ravine into this open field. Well, it's sort of a field. You can see in the distance some sort of towers in the distance. You think that's the Field of Towers, but here the surface undulates So it's like almost like an undulating pasture, except the undulations are all uniform. They're all sort of spherical. There's these spherical undulations and then hemispherical depressions. It's quite a uniform up and down undulation. It's quite gentle. And that goes on for what looks like a couple of kilometres before you actually start reaching the towers in the distance.
Do we, I know it's close by, but do we see any indication of which direction we need to go to reach I think the Papal Enclave, the Amber Pope?
You can't, given how many towers you see in the distance, you can't make out which one of them the Aeon priests are using as a citadel. You think that they are within the field of towers somewhere. It's quite a large area full of all these towers. As you make your way there, you can see there are some ruins built into the hillsides. Looks like some ancient structures were once, perhaps connecting some of these bowl-shaped depressions, or were situated on top of them. There's sort of signs that this area was inhabited once. And you hear something in the distance. I'll get an intellect roll to sort of make out what you can hear. Anyone else going to roll to that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Got the same as Rusev. That was useless.
Oh.
Ah.
Blargs?
Oh, all right.
Come on, Boggs. You're not talking, you should be able to hear really well. There we go,
Yep.
16.
Okay, Blargs, you can identify that it sounds like people running from something.
Fantastic.
That's always...
But you can't communicate that to us.
No, he
Boggs
hands
gestures-
There's no sign language.
yeah,
It
sign
starts
language, it's like
gesturing
jazz
at
hands.
the edge of the group and points in a direction. And you can see sort of from where you are a couple of the spherical depressions. Suddenly you see three people run across the top of one of them. They spot you, and at the top of their lungs you can hear one of them just yell, "Run!" And they point towards one of the ancient ruins on one of the spherical ones over there. Would you like to run?
Can I look at what they're pointing at and see exactly what they're trying to run from, or is it just nothing?
Run toward it.
They're running toward one of the ruins on the other ridges, the one that they pointed at. It's sort of to your right. So they're sort of running towards you, and they've pointed at something, a ruin on your right as to where they're going, and they're sprinting.
Can we see what's pursuing them? If there is anyone
Not yet.
pursuing them?
You can't
yet.
see what they're running from yet.
So they certainly are running from something.
Blargs, you can feel a slight vibration in the ground.
Uh-oh. Blogs?
Yep.
Blocks can't communicate it to us.
Ah, shit.
Well, I've got my own
Sign
version
language,
made
3
up
words.
sign language.
Blargs, are you going to run?
No, don't be ridiculous.
Have an argument
Well,
with the
we
ground.
won't
again.
know then, so I guess we just... If the guy just said
While
run,
you've
I'm
been
gonna...
sitting there dithering, the people running have gone from the top of one of the one of the spherical things down into a depression and back up. They're now sort of 3 depressions from you, and they take another look and go, "Run, you fools!" and start legging towards the structure that they'd identified.
Have we noticed this by now?
You've noticed the people running, certainly. Blargs identified
cool.
Blargs clocked it a little bit before the rest of you, but he sort of pointed the rest of you to it.
Right.
And as you see coming up behind them is a large creature.
Shit.
No, that's exactly what.
Well, the reaction is nope.
Why am I reminded of the Devona? It seems to have a similar amount of teeth.
This is it's a worm-like creature. It's not really. It's like the Devona in that it's worm-like and it's got teeth, but it's not the same sort of it's not the same species. It's just another sort of serpent worm thing. It's also quite different from the one you've seen before, like the scutomorph. It's quite different.
I don't think it's showing red on your shared screen. All I'm seeing is like a white box.
Let me fix that. Screen share. We'll go. There we go.
That's better. Yeah, now people can see
Okay.
what this monstrosity is.
It's a spined serpent about 15 meters long, and even though you don't have Ranger here with you, one of you identifies it. Fetus, this is probably something you've identified as a cragworm. Now, a cragworm, once he identifies it, you've all heard of cragworms, mainly because you've heard of them in figures of speech. Usually, people have been described as, for example, as fierce as a cragworm, or like an angry cragworm. They've got a bit of a reputation as something that you don't want to run into and will prey on. If it gets a hold of you, you're in trouble. It comes to the top of the ridge it's on, and it lets out a scream. Different to the screaming of the statues. It lets out like an ultrasonic scream. So I'll get you all to do a.
Oh God.
I'll get you all to do a might defense against it. Difficulty. It's a little bit distance away, so it's a difficulty 3.
Nailed it.
Oh, blocks.
Oh no!
Oh, Scrapper.
Okay, so Blargs and Scrapper, you're sort of taken aback by it, and it feels like, the frequency of the scream is, rattling around in your very brain. So you'll each take a point of intellect damage.
Okay.
And remember, it's still quite a distance from you.
Perfect.
Would you like to
Okay.
run?
Time to go, I think.
So
But
you
that-
get your sort of wits about you and start running towards the structure that the other people are running towards. It's like a squat remnant wall of some ancient building. By the time you start moving there, the other group are almost there, and you see one of them reach down on its belt and grab out some sort of cipher and throw it back towards the cragworm. The cragworm is sort of making a beeline for the people that it had originally been chasing, comes towards closer, and then whatever it was thrown explodes into sort of a cloud of smoke, a sort of red-coloured smoke that feels a cylindrical shape, like it forms a sort of perfect cylinder between the cragworm and yourself of smoke. And you all sort of run behind the building. Now that you can see the people who are running from it, you can see that it's sort of and a man, a stocky man with dark brown hair, wearing a leather jerkin and carrying a bow and a staff. So he's got the bow slung across his back and is carrying a staff with him. There's a stocky, muscular woman who looks like she's, pretty fierce and has been in a couple of fights. She's got tattoos running all the way up her arm, one of which looks like one of those activated tattoos like some of you now have, the rest of which just look like more conventional tattoos. And then there's a tall and sort of wiry woman with long dark hair. And they've all sort of taken shelter behind the structure and, sort of leaning against the wall and biding their time, very tense. The man is sort of, cowering underneath it, while the fierce woman is sort of keeping a more active lookout at the smoke cloud that they've just put up. And you've reached behind the structure now.
Alright, I'm pulling my crossbow out ready just in case it gets really sketchy.
Yep. Would anyone like to introduce themselves or anything like that?
Axe.
Larks pulls out his axe and gestures to it with his, through his sort of froggy throat. And even though it was probably meant to be some sort of war cry, it comes out more as a axe, axe. The wiry woman sort of looks at him in confusion, and the muscular woman looks at him and gives him a glare, saying, and that glare is one of those, shut up looks.
Yes, and that's why I'm not saying anything, because I don't want to attract attention.
You've all reached behind the wall now, and you can hear the creatures sort of slithering around the outside. You can hear it from here. I mean, you saw it had many eyes, and even though you didn't spot any nostrils or anything, you can sort of hear it breathing through its mouth, almost like it's trying to find a taste or a scent of something.
I presume we can't really discuss anything with the other group, can we?
No, it's not. They're giving you a pretty intense look of. They're sort of shushing you as it comes closer. It comes close behind the wall, and you can hear it making sort of noises as it tries to seek you out, and it slithers. Sort of slithers around the outside of this little ancient structure with the walls that you've hidden behind. And you can hear the. You can hear it sound. You can hear the sucking as it tries to get a taste, and you think you can hear a tongue or something come out and, lick the air, like almost like it is definitely trying to sense exactly where you've gone. But it appears to be navigating at the moment by scent.
Well, I mean, who's the smelliest one here? I think we're all pretty clean.
Not sure who would be the smelliest, but I'm actually thinking of spreading out away from the group quietly, so that we don't have a more concentrated. So that if it is sort of sniffing for us, if that's what I think it's doing by what I'm hearing, then I'll actually scoot away from the party a little bit to try and just spread it out so it's not as concentrated.
Okay, would you like to try and do that stealthily? I'll get a speed roll then.
Alright.
Difficulty 3 because you're behind the structure.
Fuck.
Oh, shit.
7. Shit.
As you move, you actually do move quite well. The only problem is the creaking of your leather armor sort of triggers it off, and you hear it stop outside the structure, and then it bangs its head against the wall that the rest of you are sort of leaning against. The structure vibrates, and it sort of shakes a little bit, but it remains on its foundation. It thinks you're definitely in there, at least at the moment, but it hasn't quite worked out how to get in.
Can I use my hedge magic to try and dislodge a rock outside the entrance, maybe?
So away from where you are?
Yeah. To draw its attention away from us, away from the interior.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. To sort of, dislodge the right thing and make it sound convincingly like it's someone and not just something shifting. That'll be an intellect check.
Yep.
18,
Nice.
nice.
You make a noise from dislodging a rock outside of the structure, and you can hear it sort of shift away from the wall and start focusing its attention over there, away from where you've all hidden. The muscular woman looks at you and has sort of worked out what you did, and she picks up a stone from inside the structure and throws it outside the door and away from the structure. And it follows that noise, and it's now sort of a little bit away from the away from the entrance. And the wiry woman looks at another exit from the ruined structure that you're in, not the one you came in, one over the other side, and gestures to it and makes a sort of tiptoe movement. Would you like to stay where you are? Would you like to try and move outside the structure, or would you like to do something else?
I'm a little bit shaken up because I inadvertently caused a thing to bang on the wall, so I'm basically just going to stay exactly where I am and not move.
Okay.
I would like to go in the same direction as the other three, where the wiry woman pointed out.
Okay, I'll get a speed roll from you. Again, difficulty 3. Except it's a stealth task, so you get that bump down, is that right?
I do, so...
Okay, so you're trying to hit a 6.
And I failed.
You got a 4! Ouch!
Okay, you move across, and as you're making the steps towards the door, you misplace one of your feet and dislodge some of the rubble within inside the structure. You hear the creature turn around outside. Largs, what would you like to do?
I think I'll take the smart option of just not moving, given how badly our stealth rolls have been going.
Yell at it. It won't hear you. It's fine.
And Fetus, would you like to? What would you like to do?
I would not like to move.
Okay.
Everyone's terrible. So everyone's just being statues. We're hoping it's like a T-Rex and it will leave.
Who's got our makeshift grenade?
The creature outside gives another shattering yell. So I will get actually from this close, it's probably an intellect defense.
Ooh.
So, what do we do?
What's the difficulty of it?
An intellect roll. Where are we? I've got to check my. Got it here. It's. So I've got this on a little card, but the one in the encounter is slightly different. It's quite tricky. It's probably from here a 5.
Oh shit.
Doable,
Okay.
just unlikely.
But you can pump points in that to bring it down.
I
I'm
would
thinking
like
training effort.
to. So I've got 2 points in edge, which means that it'll only cost me 1 to put a point of effort in, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. So I'll put 2 points of effort in, which will cost me 4.
Will cost you
Yeah, that's-
3.
It'll cost you 3. I'm actually going to do the same thing and use 2
It'll
points of
cost me
effort.
3?
Yeah, after your first level costs 3, and any additional ones up to your edge are cheaper.
Oh, okay, wonderful. In that case, I'll throw in 2 for 3.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're trying to hit a 9.
yeah.
Shit.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll do the same.
shit.
Oh my god!
I have no bonuses, so I need to hit a flat 15.
Oh, you
What up? What up?
17.
We throw in effort and we get fracked over.
Okay,
God
so,
damn.
so the three of you clap your hands over your ears, and that does very little. You feel rooted in the spot. You can't do anything. You're paralyzed, basically, as just the reverberation of it sort of goes straight through your skull, and you feel incredibly ill. You take a point of intellect damage each,
Oh,
but
no.
you're paralyzed. You can't move. Rusev, however, is still free to act. The creature is definitely thinks there's something in there that it can hear, but it's not smashing its way into the structure. It's sort of still doing that sort of circling out near the entrance that you came in, trying to pick up a scent or a sense of what's in there.
What about the other 3 people? Have they already scarpered, or?
The short man is much in the same state as Scrapper and Fetus and Blargs. He's sort of sitting there. He is quite, debilitated like the other 2. The tall, muscular woman also isn't looking real well, but is sort of holding her feet a bit better. She's not well and probably isn't going to be much good for anything, but is sort of still standing and sort of resilient and holding it out. The tall, dark-haired woman is like yourself. She can still act. So if you'd like to, do something with her, or team up for an action with her, or give her a message or a signal, she's open to that.
Well, I mean, she did point out a way. Basically, as the shelter kind of is up against a cliff face, basically.
It's sort of freestanding on the from the undulations. It's sort of built into one of the undulations, so it comes. There is an ancient roof that's still intact in parts, but it's open to the light, and then there's a door on either side of it. It's a curved surface, and the roof sort of cuts into one of the dome-shaped undulations halfway through it.
Hmm.
And it looks like it's cut into the hill a little bit as well.
Okay, so I do believe this is the perfect opportunity to try and sneak out the door that the wiry woman pointed out and get distance.
Yep, sure. I'll let you make a speed check.
Okay, I'm going to put some effort into this, so...
Alright. To get out the door, its perception, given it's actively looking, its perception is at level 4, which you bump down straight away because it's a stealth thing. So a 9 at the moment.
So with one, I'm going to put in 1 level of effort.
Yep.
Fuck!
Oh my god.
Oh.
We are gonna die.
I could have done a 2nd level of effort there too, but I thought I wouldn't need it.
Okay, it hears you, and fairly quickly for something its size, it comes around the other way and starts sort of looking in the door out there. Now it's too big. Its head is too big to get inside the door, but it brings its head up quite close to the interior, and you can see its maw with all of its teeth, and it opens up and starts inhaling, and you see it sort of move in excitement so it can sniff you. It can't see you yet because it can't get its head on the right angle, but it can definitely smell that you're in there. Okay, so the 3 of you are still sort of paralyzed and held in place by the it's sort of wiped your thought processes. Basically, you've blanked out. You're just sort of standing there in shock. Rusif, you can do something else if you'd like.
Yeah, this is not
Its
good.
mouth is sort of moving up to the door, and you know, it's open, and you can sort of see down its gullet.
There's nothing really I can do to help someone who's paralyzed, can I?
No, you can't sort of rouse them out of it. There's no sort of easy way you can tell to rouse them out of it from where you are.
Right, backtrack and try and sneak out the other door.
Okay, I'll get another speed roll on that.
With another level effort there, so I'll get this eventually, guys. And today's
Yeah,
the day.
Okay. So you make your way silently across the room, sort of picking your feet very carefully around the rubble, and move out the door that you came in on. The creature is on the other side of the building from you now. Those of you inside, you see the muscular woman shake out of it first, and she sort of starts looking at her belt to see if she's got anything that she can do. The short, stocky man is sort of, even though he's not like planted in the spot anymore, is sort of cowering, and you don't think he's going to be much use in a battle. The wiry woman is sort of looking at you, and she's got some sort of dart thrower or something that she's pulling out from her belt. So she pulls it out and aims it at the creature, but she doesn't fire just yet. Bliggs, what would you like to do? You sort of shake yourself out of it, being a muscular and strong guy and all that. You shake your way out of your reverie first.
I feel like there's only one option to do now,
Here we go.
and that option is to charge and try and hit it with my axe.
Oh no.
Okay. You charge up to where its mouth is in the door and take a swing with your axe. I will get a might roll.
Oh man.
All right, let's do this thing. Poorly.
And he rolls.
One.
And I'm gonna put a lot of effort into this so that when I inevitably roll a 1, it's worth 4 at least.
Okay.
Oh, that
15.
actually wasn't a bad roll.
Not
So I'm
bad.
Okay.
disappointed in myself.
So you bring up your axe on the inside and hit it on the inside of its mouth. For how many points of damage?
7.
Okay. So you
Nothing
give it
hits.
a good gash on. It's got sort of a split jaw that splits into 4, and you give it a good gash on its, well, from your perspective, it's its lower right one, and your axe embeds in it, and you drag it out, pulling along the bottom of its jaw with the lip of your axe. The creature recoils back out of the hole in there, and then bangs its body into the entryway, trying to shove in and get to you, and the whole structure shakes. Fetus, what
Yes.
would you like to do now that you've shaken your way out of it?
Because I'm very muscular. Is
It's
now an
thrashing around.
appropriate...
It's thrashing around near the entrance of the
Is
didn't
now
come
an
in.
appropriate time to ask if anyone around is a Beal? I'm assuming that no one is, considering this thing's just out of control, or that
You
someone
are-
is.
You ask if anyone around there is a Beal, and whilst there's a look of, there's sort of a flash of recognition at the word in the eyes of the muscular woman and the wiry woman. I mean, the short guy is useless. They sort of recognise the term and they shake their heads.
Okay. Is that my action?
Oh no, you can still do something
No?
else.
Okay.
Talking is usually a pretty easy action to do. You can multitask.
Wonderful. do we have... Who's in possession of our makeshift grenade from
That was
the
you.
caustic
I
lake?
think
Was me?
Rusev gave it to
Okay.
you.
Hmm.
Any objections to me throwing it into the gob of this thing?
I can't say anything. I'm still stunned.
Oh.
While I
I
stand right next to it, do it!
And Roos is sort of out the other side of the structure, so you can't really see him from where
I
you
can't
are.
really comment.
Are you okay with this, Plugs?
Well, even if I'm not, I doubt I can express my displeasure very well.
Yeah, full glory.
Well, I'm not expecting it to explode. It's an enclosed jar. If it swallows the thing whole,
It'll still do
Okay.
some internal damage.
Okay, it's a speed roll to throw it. Its speed
Speed roll.
defense isn't quite as good as some of its other defenses, and it's quite close. So it's a 4 at the moment.
I have no edge, so it'll cost 3.
3
From
of
my
your speed
total
points to
total.
bring it down. Yep,
Yep.
which would bring it down to a 3. So you're trying to hit a 9.
That's 5 points for 5 from my speed pool to bring it down 2 points. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I will bring it down 2 points for
Mhm.
5 from my speed pool.
So you're trying to hit a 6.
Oh, thank God.
There we go. 11. Nice.
Okay, so you throw the jar, and it's a pretty good throw. It sort of ends up in its goblet, and you hear it smash as it goes down the creature's throat. The creature doesn't react for a second, and then it starts thrashing very sort of violently, and spewing. It starts sort of spitting and spewing, and you notice that where are we? You notice that it's got like in addition to its usual usual saliva and stuff, it's got this sticky slime that's coming out of its mouth as well.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's producing it. You don't think that's a result of the of what you threw, and that'll do
Okay.
because it was such a good throw. That'll actually do 6 points of damage to it as well.
Nice.
So it's spitting and thrashing into the door, and Blargs, you are close to what it's spitting out, but it doesn't seem to be hitting you with anything from there. Scrapper, you snap out of it.
Yay, I'm gonna finally do something. Okay, I'm going to dash towards the door that everyone else has been going through, but far enough away that I'll be able to turn around and just take a shot at it with my crossbow.
Okay, you're going to try and do that stealthily, or are you just going to leg it?
Well, it already knows we're here. I'm just going to leg it.
Okay, so you dash across the door and take a shot. So that is also a speed roll. Again, difficulty 4, because you know exactly where it is, and it's trying to fit into that enclosed space.
Effort's pointless. I'll just go. I'll just throw right in. Boom, 19.
Get out.
Okay, it's also a good shot, and the bolt that you fire hits the creature's tongue and embeds it through it like the world's gnarliest tongue piercing. How many points of damage does that do?
That does 4.
Okay. So the creature's decided to take a different tack. Now that it's sort of spitting and trying to get whatever it is out there, it starts to, you can see it sort of move its tongue around and gather up a whole bunch of sort of slime and start spitting it into the hole, trying to ensnare something with this sticky goo. Blargs, you are direct in the firing line where you are, so I will get a speed roll to dodge from you. It's because it's coming straight through the door that you're near. It's probably going to be quite tough.
Sorry, Blargs.
Oh, what's the danger? What's the worst that could possibly happen? Don't answer that. All right, I'll put a point of effort into this.
Okay. So you're trying to hit a final.
It's a 3.
Oh,
Okay.
That's our blugs.
You are now caught up in a sticky goo that you'll need to free yourself on your next turn.
Brilliant.
Bruce, what would you like to do? The muscular woman, actually, first off, the muscular woman, seeing what you did against the creature, moves up next to the door, and I'm going to do that one thing I never do as a GM and roll.
Whoa.
Shit. Whoa. Red's whoa, whoa.
See, so long I've forgotten how to do it. Okay. And she will swing with a sword that she pulls out of a scabbard, but not make nearly the impact Blargs did and miss. Rusif, what would you like to do?
So I guess I hear the creature sort of thrashing about and like writhing in pain from the various strikes that everyone's chucked at it, but I don't really know what exactly they did. So I'm going to see if I can sneak around the side of the building to see if I can get behind the cragworm.
Okay, I will get a speed roll to sneak.
With 1 level of effort.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you make your way around the outside edge of the building. As you come around the curve of the building, you can see the creature trying to get its way into that door. It's sort of banging against the door, and you see that the bricks and stuff are starting to dislodge, but it can't fit its entire body in. Door, it's too wide. But you can see it quite clearly. It hasn't noticed you, given how strongly its attention is focused elsewhere.
Right, if I'm still allowed to do something, I would like to use up one of my poison doses
Okay.
and apply it to my dagger.
Yep, sure. It will probably take you a bit to pull out the poison and get it, so that'll be ready for your next turn.
Yeah, that's what I was aiming for.
Okay, so you've applied poison to your dagger. Whose turn was it? Blargs, your turn. You're trapped in the slime.
Yeah, I don't think I have much of an option here. I'm going to try and wriggle free, force
might
myself
roll
free.
to break out. Yep, sort of. So you got to sort of wrench
Flex
yourself out.
free.
I'm going to trust my fate to the heart of the... Well, I guess it's dice, not cards in this case.
Heart of the blocks.
Yep, heart of the blocks. Oh,
Holy crap.
Okay, so you tear yourself out of the slime. In fact, you do it so successfully, and you're so close to the creature that you can take a crack at it if you'd like. The slime didn't slow you down at all. Okay.
19.
Jesus.
Damn, Blargs is having revenge on this bitch.
Okay, and that will get an extra point, actually an extra 2 points of bonus damage just because it's such a decent hit.
Ah,
So is that 9 damage?
Yep.
huzzah.
that's 9.
So
Blargs
you
is
managed
pissed.
to the bit of its jaw that you'd hit before, you managed to actually sever. So it's now only got a 3/4 of a jaw and its long tongue that's pierced with a bolt. And
Trophy.
it goes nuts. It starts doubling its effort and banging against the door, and you can see it's not very far away from breaking in again. Fetus.
Shit. I have a pissy little razor ring that isn't going to do much, so... Actually, I have nothing of use except for my razor ring, then.
You don't have any ciphers?
I have a gemstone that'll make it dream of its favorite food, which is presumably us. That's all I've got.
You
Yeah,
could
that's it.
you could attempt to use the
I could try and
shatter
sever
wand.
the tongue. Oh yeah, how many uses does the Shadow Wand have?
Okay, the Shadow Wand, you have to roll each time you use it on a person. I wasn't going to make it futs out when you were trying to kill an inanimate object. But you have to roll each time you use it, and it's... Let me just find what it was.
I think
It's either... It's D10, I think.
I think it's a D10, and I think it's on a natural 10. It breaks or loses its charge.
It's on a 1, I think.
Oh, it's on a... Okay, my bad.
Yeah. So you can certainly try and strike it with the shock wand.
I think that might be a little safer than a razor ring. So it's a D10, yeah?
It is.
Oh no, it's actually a D20.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, it's a D20 to strike it, but then once you do it, you have to roll a D10.
Oh, then I've got the maintenance roll. Okay.
Yep, that's right.
So, can I afford to put a point of effort in? Yeah, I'll put 1 point of effort in, which takes...
Actually, it's a 1 in D20 depletion, so you roll another D20 afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that have different depletion rates.
Yeah, the depletion rate on that one's a D20.
Okay, so D20, I've put a point of effort into this.
Okay, so you're trying to...
Yes!
19.
Nice.
Okay. You bring the shadow wand down on the creature's tongue, and its tongue immediately freezes up, like
Yes!
like you've seen it before, and goes still. So rather than slithering around, it's now sort of moving around as a rigid... It's swinging around like that, and it's trying to... it's sort of trying to free out, and you can tell it doesn't know what's going on. Do your maintenance roll.
Not bad.
And the shadow wand will maintain in operation. It's still humming, it's still glowing, and as far as you can tell, it's still operational.
Excellent.
Scrapper.
See what I should do now. Actually, how close am I to the door that the other three were going through, that were about to go through earlier?
You're across the other side of the structure. Didn't you walk out the side that Rusev went out?
Yeah.
You're within sort of medium range.
Okay.
So you're not up in its grill, but you're close enough to take a shot or something if you'd like.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna. I'll just stay where I am, reload, and take another shot then.
Okay.
Oh, one.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a horrible shot.
You better not have shot me in the eye.
You just tempted him now. You said that.
Damn it.
Okay, the bolt is going to come out of the thing, and it's not going to hit Fetus, and it's not going to hit Blargs, but it will hit the muscular woman in the thigh.
Killed the NPC.
Oh crap.
You haven't killed her, but she cries out in pain and collapses to her knee, so she's pretty much taken out of the fight.
Whoops.
Wait,
Rusev.
did you just put an arrow through her knee?
Through her thigh.
Thigh, not the knee.
Thigh.
No
Okay,
Skyrim
thank
references
God.
here. Rusev, it's your turn. You've poisoned your blade.
Oh, what a waste of a bolt.
So, what's the... If I was to try and sneak up behind this creature and jab it in its body, would that require a sneak roll and then an attack roll?
It would, yep. Its perception is as a level 4.
Right, so I will do another point of effort on the sneak check to get close to it.
Yep, so you get it taken down by 1 because it's sneaking, and then another 1 from your point of effort, so you're trying to hit a 6.
Yep.
Okay, you sneak up behind it, and you can see its sort of long body. It's about 15 meters long, and it's sort of coiled up because it's trying to push into the door, but it hasn't noticed you.
Am I able to strike at it?
You can strike at it.
Now, I just need to get the stats for this one, because it says it's a level 2 blade poison, so I don't know exactly how much... Oh no, level 2 blade poison that inflicts 5 points of damage if I hit.
Okay.
Damn.
I also have
You
Yeah,
have
that's
like
my.
a sneak attack bonus, don't you?
I do. So, um, I have a reduce the difficulty by 1 because of that sneak attack, and because I'm using a dagger, it reduces the difficulty by another class. So,
Okay, you're just trying
Wow.
to hit a 3, so a 9, without any effort yet.
I'm going to put in effort for the other for my extra damage because I
Mhm.
can't do both. Shit.
3.
Now remember, you can burn one of your XP if you'd like to re-roll something.
Yeah, but those are hard to come by.
I actually will do that because I don't get that sneak attack bonus again for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so roll again.
Damn it.
Oh,
Oh.
5. Jeez.
Oh well.
Okay.
Oh, the dice are not on
Okay.
our side today.
I don't know, Bugs has been doing alright.
Except for
Okay,
the
keep
voice.
fighting bugs, just win it all for us.
Okay, so you swing with the knife, and because of the way it's thrashing around, you make a superficial cut across it, but it doesn't sink in, and the poison doesn't sort of take hold. It's just a glancing scrape on its skin, which is quite tough. It's still sort of thrashing around, but it sort of jerks its body away from you, and then sort of jerks it back very quickly. So I'll need a speed roll to stop you getting knocked over.
Yep. Speed roll away. Maybe.
14.
You manage to jump back well in time as it sort of continues thrashing. Blargs, your turn.
Well, since I am a master of subtlety here, I choose to hit it with my axe.
I don't think anyone saw that coming. Go.
I certainly didn't.
You're also a master of
14.
plot twist plugs.
Okay, you will hit.
Yay!
Alright, and that's another 7 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay,
health
the
is this
creature
thing?
is not looking healthy. It's, it's sort of got viscera and ichor. It's leaking out like a orange blood in addition to all the slime that's coming out. And you can also see from inside the hut, you can see it sort of still coughing up some traces of that black fluid from the lake that you threw down its gullet. Fetus, your turn.
Instead of shattering the tongue,
Yep.
now I can't actually find any information on this shock wand, but
No, that's because I have it.
that's because you have it. Okay. If something is in the, you know how you strike it once and it solidifies, strike it a second time, it shatters.
Yes.
How long does it retain its solid or solidity?
How long does it stay like it is?
Yes.
It's as well. You haven't seen anything revert yet.
Okay,
from
in
what
that
you know.
case, can I put the shock wand away and try and sever the tongue with my razor ring?
You can come up and strike the shattered area with your razor ring. Yes.
Because I would like a tongue sword.
Okay, that will
Yeah,
be.
I'll try that.
Alright, try and hit the tongue with your razor ring. Will be a might roll. Difficulty 4 as well.
I can't afford any more effort.
hmm
I could, but I'm going to die, so I won't. So I need to hit a 12.
That's correct.
Oh,
14. Nice.
Okay, you bring the razor ring down on the base of its tongue. Even though you weren't hitting it with the shatter wand, the crystalline surface does break and shatter, taking off the creature's tongue with it. It lets out a final scream and thrashes very violently a couple more times before rearing up and falling flat. Its blood and slime continues to ooze out it, and it twitches a little, and it dies. And
excellent.
we'll leave it there for this week.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that helped.
Yeah, I
So
think
you
it
have
did more than help.
defeated a cragworm. That's quite impressive. I'll in fact give you all an experience point because it's a hell of a tale to tell when you get back to when you get back to a bar. That's a hell of a tale.
Nice.
So what are
Yay.
you
Excellent.
souveniring,
Thank you.
Mantis?
Pardon?
What are you souveniring?
Well, I wanted the tongue, but apparently it's shattered.
It's
So
it's in some quite large slivers, so you could probably souvenir a sort of 15 centimeter or so long sharp sliver from it, if you'd like,
I am so down for that.
of the solidified flesh.
Yep.
Is it possible to yank out one of the teeth?
Ooh.
You can get close and yank out teeth if you'd like. They're about a couple of 2 or 3 centimeters on at the front of the mouth, and then as it sort of goes back, they shrink in size. Actually, no, they're longer than that. They're 5 or 6 at the front of the mouth, and then they get smaller as they go towards the back of its 3/4 left of a compound jaw.
I might just take one of the front teeth then.
Okay, you souvenir a 6 centimeter long cragworm tooth.
Awesome. Works for me.
Has everyone souvenir what they'd like to souvenir?
Can I have a tooth as well? I would like a tooth.
You can take a tooth. You can all take a tooth.
Yay.
Well, we
I'm
need
not
what?
taking it.
Well, if it's a great story, if it's like a great beast to take down, I want proof that I took it down. It's kind of like that. What is it, like the Ice Age 4 movie with the weasel who's got the tooth as a knife.
Shit, yeah.
Knife, yeah.
Oh,
There's a guy-
that's impressive.
There was a guy who went to my school who some friends of mine at some point nicknamed Sid the Sloth. And I couldn't unsee it. Once they'd nicknamed him that, every time I saw him, I couldn't see him without thinking, Sid the Sloth.
They love the flame, your tail's on fire.
It was just... he just had that look about him. He had like snaggled teeth and a bit of a look to him.
Alright.
Okay, gentlemen. Is the 11th of June good for people? 2 weeks?
Sure.
Should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be okay for that. Yep.
Okay, well, unless something changes, we'll go for that then.
Okay.
Alright, thank you very much.
It's alright.
Cheers, gents. Have a good one.
Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
week.
Bye. I'll see you on TeamSpeak.
So yeah.